Hi everyone, thank you for coming today to this informal meeting. We'd like to welcome Megan Gulliver, the events coordinator. Thank you for coming.
Nice to meet you all.
Thanks for having me. All right, so the objective of this meeting today is to agree on the details for the Christmas party and make plan for these arrangements. And we will gain from this meeting great decisions to begin the preparations that we need. The apologies, Peter Mackenzie couldn't make it today. We don't need to approve any minutes of previous meetings because this is the first one. So moving on to the agenda items, we'll start with agenda number 1. Ruth, you will be sharing about the location of the party.
Yes, I would like to suggest that perhaps we consider somewhere like the Hyatt as a location for our Christmas party. I think it has the potential to accommodate the numbers that we've got, and I really like its location.
Okay. How does everyone else feel about that idea?
A bit upmarket, Ruth, would you say?
Well, I think the company needs to lift its face up in, and I think at the Hyatt is a good spot. It's good for most people to get to. Would you not agree?
Yes.
I'm
parking underneath, so and 5 minutes down to the train, so I think it's a good posse.
Oh man, I was just surprised. That's all.
Yes, I do agree with Ruth. I think the Hyatt is a good venue, and often if you're planning on actually holding an event, and you're purchasing meals, often the room hire is waived because you're spending a specific amount of money with the Hyatt, and I think it does hold a little bit of prestige and esteem, being the fact that it is a Hyatt, and I think the staff would feel quite honoured at the fact they're attending a venue at the Hyatt.
So how would everyone like to proceed with that?
Yes. I'm sure the staff would welcome it, most definitely.
So we're all saying yes for the Hyatt?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, we'll write that down. In the minutes, please. The Hyatt Hotel. Okay. We'll skip number 2 due to time constraints. We'll come back to that one later. We'll go to agenda item number 3, proposed budget for the party and agreeing on a decision of the entry price. So Ruth, over to you.
Well, I'm thinking that the cost itself of $100 really should be borne by our employees. We've given them bonuses, and I'm thinking that really it's up to them to be able to come and just contribute this time.
How does everyone else feel about the $100 fee for the entry price?
Well, as production manager people, I'm not so sure whether the employees would fully support having to pay themselves. I think they would feel entitled to be subsidised on that.
Okay. Yeah. Megan, what is the courses meal? How many courses is it?
It's 2 courses, and I think, as Gareth said, I think you'll find the staff will feel underappreciated and probably just even fail to attend if they had to pay $100. I think, if the company could look at maybe paying half and then staff half, I think 2 courses for $100 is pretty steep.
Okay.
I mean, does it include drinks? What else do they actually get for their money?
Well, it looks like we have a bit of an issue here.
Yes, because really I think that this is just something that I know if I take it back to the other directors, they're going to suggest very strongly that we, put this back on our employees' plate.
Okay.
And Jonathan, what do you think, being sales manager and of the team? How do you feel your team will feel?
The team will feel not very happy about this. They've put in a big effort. They've achieved a result this year, and usually a Christmas party is put on by the company in recognition and thanks for the effort for the staff.
All right. Well, thank you for what you've shared. We shall proceed then with some problem-solving exercises in order to help resolve this issue, because I'm not agreeing to either side, so I'm going to stay, neutral in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to write the issue down on a piece of paper. So the issue here is the entry price, isn't it?
Yes.
Entry
per
price
person.
per person for the party. And then we'll just need to do some brainstorming to see if we can sort this issue out. How do you feel about that?
I think we need to,
Has to be discussed.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, Ruth needs to present it to the directors and the managers, and then she needs to put the points forward. And we also need to counteract the fact that, we feel the staff aren't going to be happy. So, I mean, we need a Christmas party and we need it to be good for everybody.
Okay. Yes, thank you for sharing
And
that,
we
Megan.
can't afford to have the issue protracted, making last minute decisions a week or two before the date.
Okay.
Yes, it's true. I'm quite comfortable that we brainstorm and see what we can find that might be a solution I can take back.
Okay. All right. Well, so the problem may possibly be the budget.
Yes.
Now, Ruth, are you aware of what the budget is for this party, of what the CEO is permitting?
Well, I was aware that they were looking at the 5,000 to 7,000 sort of range.
Okay. All right, so we'll write that down. Okay, so that's one issue. Okay, now this entry price per person affects all the employees and the management. Now, is the venue too expensive? Can we cut costs anywhere?
What do you think, Megan, as events manager?
I mean, you can, as I noted before, the Hyatt will waive the cost of the room function hire.
All right, I'll write
So
that
there will
down.
be no cost to hire the actual room due to the fact you are holding a function there. They may be willing to do a package where the meal and the drinks are included per person. And we'll see if we could possibly get them to organise a package that might be cheaper to suit our
Okay.
needs.
And okay, yep, thank you for sharing that, Megan. Also, are we spending or potentially spending too much on things that we don't need? For instance, the cocktail food from Coffeeville. Do we need that included before the actual party begins?
I don't think so. I don't think it's that necessary. Perhaps the Hyatt could actually factor that in per head as part of the package, and it might be cheaper for them to actually factor that in the price because they're already, already feeding 100 people.
And I was also thinking perhaps our suppliers could perhaps sponsor part of the event in a smaller way, of course. But at least, if it's a few $100s, that'd be really helpful.
Okay, yeah.
Good
Thank you,
idea,
Darren.
Darren.
That's a great idea.
Yes,
Good
and
idea.
they can get some advertising.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I think it's
Advertising involved. Okay, Ruth, how do you feel about that?
I think that we're getting into a better place. I think being able to put some of our sponsors in the spotlight for the day, cutting the costs. I think we're starting to find a better way through.
Or even offering a door prize for, part of the night as well.
Door prize.
And perhaps we could even approach the social club committee, and they might be willing to participate in it too, and bring something to the table.
Fundraising.
Yeah, fundraising.
Making to a fundraising Christmas
Mm.
dinner.
But the social club is part of the company, and they were wanting to be part of a Christmas party where they probably don't want to do anything.
Mm.
They're being looked after by the company. And the other thing that I don't want to be negative, but once you start getting donations from your suppliers, some of those suppliers would want to be part of the action as well. So
Yeah,
that's more
that's
people.
another hand, yes.
Okay, so that's another issue to
Yes.
look at.
Extra invites, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So at the moment, you've got between 50 and 70 people coming at $100. That's where it is at the moment.
Perhaps we could
Each.
suggest our those that are our suppliers, we can maybe get them to just put up posters and things like that. They may be more than happy.
Now, what sort of posters, may I ask?
This freestanding banners.
Pull-up panels.
And
Of their supplies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Instead of actually coming to the functions, that's the way that they can advertise by having
and
their
perhaps they might be willing to donate some prizes for a raffle.
Or even they could even perhaps sell little Christmas supplies as well for the guests, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, would there be any way of perhaps, if we need to cut costs of the budget, to move the location of the party further away from the city? If it's in the city, it might cost more. If we moved away from the city, a Hyatt hotel in another location, would that be feasible? Would the costs be less?
from my experience as an event organizer, not a great deal of difference. It's mainly in the actual cost of the room hire, but you'll be facing your other costs with your entertainment, whether you choose to have a band or a DJ, whether you're having a comedian or a motivational speaker. All of those costs are going to factor in. And if you do hire a hall and then you have to get caterers in and tables and chairs, the cost is going to be pretty similar. So I think the option of having it the Hyatt without any room hire is still a good option to think about.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, Megan. And even we need to look at the fact that Christmas parties will cost more because it's the time of the year when everyone's having Christmas parties for work, and the prices, of course, for these functions will go up. So we need to make sure management are aware that this party might cost more than $7,000 because of the time of the year.
The only other thing you could do would be to have an earlier Christmas party at the end of November before the December prices start to hit, and perhaps the staff could then be given an extra day in lieu as an early finish for the Christmas period.
I'm sure the directors would think that that was actually a very good possibility for. How would that affect the production and sales teams?
Well, the sales teams don't finish their territories until the 15th or 16th of December. The rest of the time it is compiling their facts and figures, bringing back all their samples to be
But
ticked
an
off.
early finish date would be fine.
So that takes a week. So an early finish date would be great.
Great.
Yeah, I think as far as production goes, I think it's worth considering the event in November. As we all know now, December is a busy month. There's a lot of parties that people go to, wind-ups that spouses are attached to, and all the rest of it. No, I think I'm more than happy with that.
All right, so just to clarify what was being said, from what I understood was that the suggestion to have the Christmas party at the end of November, and then the staff would have a day off, and there would be time in lieu. Is that right?
That's correct. So instead of finishing, say, on the 23rd of December, they might finish on the Friday sort of before the weekend, and they'll actually get paid for that day,
Okay.
but to have an early finish. So, yes.
So what kind of a day would we have the Christmas party on? Would it be a weeknight? Would it be a weekend?
Probably during
It'd be a weekend. You don't want
people to have
People
to come to work the next
all
day.
bleary-eyed, and it's not a good look for the customers.
All right, so weekend party in November, and the staff would get an extra day off in lieu of having the Christmas party earlier. Is that right? Okay, Gareth?
Yes, absolutely.
You can write that down in the minutes. So we'll look at Christmas party in November, around the end of November, on about a Saturday, yeah?
Yes.
So we've really only got the entry price to consider.
Yes, that's right. So we've looked at a budget of approximately $7,000. The fact that this decision will affect the employees and management. It is an expensive venue at the Hyatt, but Megan mentioned that there are packages that can be taken out, and they're waiving the cost of the room hire. We could also incorporate door prizes. It's not really feasible at this stage to have the party at another location because there will still be extra costs involved. And then finally, we've just decided to have the party in November to save dollars, so we can have a better entry price. We just need to make a decision, everyone, on a good entry price instead of $100 now that we've potentially saved some money. Any ideas, anyone?
Well, I think as we've discussed with Ruth, if she could take it to the directors, staff would pay $50, and then the business would sort of put the rest in, whether it be $30 to $50. If the Hyatt could do a better price per person, it might be cheaper. But I think if you set a $50 per person limit, that's pretty reasonable.
Okay, how does everyone else feel about that idea?
Yeah, I
It's
think
better.
it's better.
Yeah.
I think if Ruth takes it back to the directors, naturally the finance committee will look at it for sure. I certainly would be loath to think the employers would be charged more than $50 per head, preferably lower. Even a 60-40 percentage perhaps would be more applicable, I feel. But nonetheless, the finance committee will make that decision, and hopefully it'll be, welcomed by everybody concerned.
Okay, thank you for sharing. How do you feel about that, Ruth?
I'm happy to take that back to the directors and the financial department, and I think there's more chance of that being carried.
All right. Okay, so Jonathan, can you write that down in the minutes for Ruth to go and make a meeting with the directors and the CEO in regards to this new price of $50 per head.
Yep.
Okay. Is there any other business?
No, I don't think so. Not at this stage.
No, not until we get a decision.
Okay. All right, we'll arrange our next meeting for August the 2nd in 3 days at 10 a.m. How does everyone feel about that?
Yep, terrific. Thanks, Angela.
We'll meet back here. Okay, I now declare this meeting closed.
Thanks, Ange.
Thank you for coming, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Well done.